Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK, and today I'm going to make a birthday gift box, and this is going to be a lidded box. So I have a piece of 12 by 12 basic white card. Now I've just got normal card left over from previously, but Stampin' Up do a thick 12 by 12 card now, and ideally I would be using that, but I don't have any yet. And I'm also using a piece of this gorgeous Floral Charm designer series paper, full of gorgeous floral designs and sort of foliage designs on that as well. So I'm using this one for today's project. So I've not made one. I've just kind of worked out roughly what I want to do, and hopefully it works. So first of all, I am going to take 2 inches off this 12 by 12 to take it down to 10 by 10. So I just line that up, take 2 inches off that way, and turn it around and take 2 inches off that way. I've got 2 pieces of card left over, and I have my 10 by 10. I'm going to score this and take that cutting blade out of the way at 2 inches on all 4 sides. And this is going to give me a box that has a base that measures 6 inches by 6 inches by 2 inches. So a nice sized gift box for all sorts of things. Okay, so that is the base. Let's come on to the lid. Now, as I say, that's going to be 2 inches deep. I'm going to have my lid just 1 inch deep. So I want this to be 8 inches and then 1/16 of an inch, just so that it's big enough to go over that base. Okay, so 8 and 1/16. So I've got it to 8 and I'm just taking it to the next little notch there. Quite easy. I know 16ths terrify some people, but it's just an extra smidge, and as long as you've got that extra smidge the same in both directions, you're golden. So back to scoring, and again I'm just going to do this at 1 inch this time on all 4 sides. Just making sure that that's butted up there. 1 inch. Okay, we have a lid, we have a base. Right, so I want to fold and burnish these score lines, so I'm just making sure that I've got everything lined up at the sides before I press that to give it a nice sharp crease. Again, just make sure I've got that lined up nicely at the edges. That one's slightly off. Straight and straight. One more to do, that one. There we go. Okay, and I'll do the same with the designer series paper lid, but this time I'm just going to use my fingers rather than the bone folder, just to be a little bit more gentle, but you still get a good crease on there. You can use your bone folder, but just be a little bit more gentle. I kind of lay it a little bit more flatter than I would do if I was scoring card. Okay, so a little bit of cutting. And we have a square on each corner there. I'm just going to cut up like that, and then take a little bit off either side, like so. Turn it around and then just do the same all the way around. Straight up to that corner there, little wedge out, like so, and little wedge off the other side too. Okay. Go. It's always handy to have a nice decent sized box for a gift, isn't it? So straight up to there, chop in there and chop a little wedge off there. Okay, I've got lots of little bits on my desk, and then it looks like that. So I need to do exactly the same on the base. So again, straight up that score line to that intersection with the other score line, and then a little wedge out either side, like so, and twist that out. And there. On the home stretch now. And sometimes I find it easier to cut that way. You will find whatever way works best for you. Some people are perfectly happy just cutting that way. Okay, so more scraps to tidy away later. Then I'm going to add glue, and if you've watched any of my videos you'll know that wet glue is my preferred glue, but you use whatever you prefer, and then just line up those edges there, a little bit raggedy there, and give that a press. You can use your bone folder just to make sure that you've got it secure. So again, add glue to the tab, line it up, and this is why I prefer wet glue, so that I can take that apart if I've not got it lined up perfectly. Give it a fold. Now you've got two tabs here. If you glue one and then the other, it's going to be a bit tricky, so I like to glue the last two at the same time. That one, and then that one. And then just fold that around, press, and that one just line up and give it a press. I'm just going to go over with my bone folder all of them. Make sure they're all firmly adhered. Okay, so we have a box base and a box lid. My recommendation is that you build your lid around your base, and you don't put glue on that bit there. If you make a mistake like that, you might find that it's still a little bit tacky when you've taken glue off. If you have an embossing buddy, use that and it will just stick to that glue. That is no longer tacky at all, so won't stick to my box space. Honestly. Right, you'd think I would know better. I've made enough boxes in my life. Right. On that side. Right, so I'm going to do one of the corners, just fold that up and then pop that in there like that. And we can do the rest on the box. A little bit of glue, fold that up, and if there's a little overhang there, don't worry about it, we can trim that off. It's just this way it gives us a really good fit. We've got that extra 1/16 of an inch. That means that this will fit over, but we don't want it to be too loose or too tight. I didn't press that enough there. Let's do that again. Okay, and then the last one. And then fold that around. Okay, I'll just go back around and make sure that we've got everything as tight and as neat as it could be, because I've not. And again, wet glue is my friend. And just smooth that out. There we go, that's better, that fits much better. Okay, we're fine with the rest. I can give it all a good press in place. That tiny little overhang there, we can take our scissors, probably easier to do it when it's not on the box this time. And just give that a little trim off without cutting a hole. There we go, that's better. So that now fits onto my box space beautifully. Okay. It's loose enough to come off, but it's not going to fall off until I gave that a little push there. Okay. We don't want people to have to rip the lid to get it off. So we need some decoration. And I am using Sentimenta Framing dies. I used that little one in my last video, I think. This time I've used this large one here, and I've cut it twice. I cut it once with Mossy Meadow, because that's the green that's on there. And I'm going to keep that. And then I cut it again in white so that I can have my sentiment on there. I am actually going to use this one as well. But first of all, I'm going to stamp that sentiment, and I'm using Layered Thoughts. And I think I will go Timid Tiger. Yeah, let's do Timid Tiger. Let me get my messy Stampin' Pierce mat in. Just ink that up. Now this is a new ink pad and I don't think I've used the birthday stamp. So what I'm going to do actually is just stamp on a scrap piece first and see how that looks, because I do want it to be not have too much ink on it. If you find it is too inky and you're not getting a clear impression because you've not used the ink pad enough, I've got some of these glue spreader things in my stash, and I like to kind of just move that glue, so I'm not digging in any way because I don't want to ruin my ink pad, but I'm just moving that ink out of the way. And then when I ink it up this time, I shouldn't have those little bubbles that I had the last time. Okay, so I'm going to go for real this time, and hopefully you can see the difference. Happy birthday right in the middle of that there. Now this Layered Thoughts stamp has other little stamps in it that you can layer up, so you could stamp to you on it or beside it. I'm just going to stick with a happy birthday though. But let's have a look at that difference. Now obviously I'm stamping onto basic white card there, which is much better for stamping on than just normal paper. But you can see that by just moving that ink, not wasting any ink, there's a tiny little bit on there. But I've just moved that ink a little bit and it is stamping better. Some people do dab and take some ink off. I just think that's a little bit of a waste. You just move it temporarily. It will come back up again. And it's ready to use the next time. Okay, a little stamping tip for you there at the same time. That wasn't planned. So we've got this. I'll put my gift in, whatever that's going to be. And then I've got this gorgeous braided trim. So this is Petal Pink. And you get absolutely tons of it. I didn't think it would be very nice to tie a bow with, but I tried it and it is. So you could use that for a bow. I thought it would be too thick, but it's actually quite nice to have that nice flat bunny ears style bow on that. But that's not what I'm going to do with that. Well, I might do a bow as well, but I want this to go there. Right, what I'm going to do is get a little bit of washi tape that I've already used. Oh, it's all gummed up, but I'll just stick it on the back there. No, that's not going to work. Let's get another bit of washi tape and take the tacky off it. So, a bit of washi tape on the back of my hand or on my clothes so that it's not too sticky. Get this where I want it. Put you there, like that. Then I can put you in there like that. Then I'm going to get some tearing tape here. And I'm going to have that pretty well secured on there. I use more than I probably would do. Just have that there. So you're going to stay there. That's going to go around and back. And it's going to go to there. And get my snips. My ribbon scissors, rather. And I'm just going to chop that. I'm going to do the same again, lining that up there though. And I'm going to secure that with plenty tearing tape as well. I don't need to take the backing off this. Just want to make sure it is nice and secure. Then I'm going to get some dimensionals. I so hope this works. And I'm going to pop the dimensionals on here. Quite a few. Take the backings off that as I go actually. Add them to my pile of scraps in the corner there. So I've got them all there. I'm going to put them close to the trim and some extra ones in the corner. Yes, I know I'm going a bit OTT. There we go. Take them all off. And this is where some people put markings on their dimensional backing so that they can see that they've got them all off. I don't bother, because if I do that in the light, I can see that they all shine. Yes. Okay, and then that goes over, hides all of that tape and whatnot. I can take that away. And this will come off like so, and can slide back on, and that's where it falls apart. I need some way of securing that other than just that ribbon, so I think I need to, we will leave this bit on here, just add some glue to that, so that bit of the frame will stay on, but the sentiment will slide off. That's fine. Didn't really think that out. And that's why I normally make something in advance. And then make another one on camera. There's a solution. There's always a solution. So that, oh, didn't press that enough. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Let's put it back where it was, so I don't get glue everywhere. And I bring my bone folder out this time and give that a proper press. That's one of the downsides of liquid glue, is that you have a little bit of time and it will move, which is the same as the upside that I was talking about earlier. So that is going to need to come over a little bitty, like that. Okay. Now you could add much more decoration to this. You could add some flowers, etc. I'm not going to. I am simply going to add some bling. I'm going to go with Mossy Meadow low profile sparkling dots. Sparkle dots, not sparkling. And got my take your pick. These are super flat, but I'm also going to add in some petal pink, and these are the Charming Shimmered Faceted Dots. So these are from the same suite as the paper. And I'm going to go with a little one there, and I think I might go, I need another one. Let's go with a small, yeah, let's go there. So there you have it. I have a nice sized gift box, 6 inches by 6 inches by 2 inches, perfect for a happy birthday to someone special. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial as I've made it up as I go along, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up. I'd love to read a comment, and if you're new to my channel, please click on that subscribe button, click the bell and get notifications the next time I upload a tutorial. Until then, please do take care. Bye bye.